So there are two SNPs or potential places for a SNP at MTHFR. One is called C677T and the other one is A1298C. And I find my two SNPs are at C677T. And in people who have SNPs at C677T, I typically do not find that high dosages of B vitamins can cause anxiety. Now, there is some literature out there that people, when they have the SNP at A1298C, that it can cause anxiety in very high dosages. Now, I, again, have tested lots of people and put lots of people on methylation support, and I have literally, out of all of those people, a handful of people that have the A1298C, and when they took high dose took high dose methylation support, something that they would get anxiety. So it's a very, very, very rare number of people that happens in. I can literally think of two off the top of my head. I'm sure I had more people in my clinic, but I can think of two off the top of my head. It is in the literature, but I do not find it in practicality that to be the case. So we often, there are things that are in the literature, but we as clinicians don't always find them to be the case clinically. And I would say that's one of the things that I would say. And absolutely you can. I take the multi and I take this. Now again, I have two SNPs at MTHFR. If you're somebody who has no SNPs, the multi should be just great for you. Now, if you have one SNP, you know, you kind of got to check that out. The multi could be enough, or you might need methylation support on top of it. So you certainly can also do some testing with your doctor, homocysteine, get a 23andMe. We offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you find out it's something that you don't need, you are having anxiety to it, which again, it's not a common occurrence that we hear about. Even me, and after seeing lots and lots of people, is not something that I hear of. Well, I don't think the mutation in itself has been linked to weight gain, but if you think about poor detoxification, hormonal dysregulation, anxiety, stress, cortisol, and not being able to deal with those things, those could cause weight gain. So yes, I do believe that if you have mutations here, you know, that those secondarily could cause weight gain. I have two mutations. Now you can be called what's called homozygous, meaning you have a mutation one place or the other, or you can be called heterozygous. Excuse me. Heterozygous is one mutation either place. Homozygous is two mutations. And you can either have one at each place or you could have two at each place. Most common is to have two at one place, and the most common place is the C77T. And the other way is to have one at C677T and one at A1298C. I don't typically see two mutations at A1298C. It's not nearly as common. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's not nearly as common. I can't think of it. So if you have Sjogren's, you may likely have at least one mutation. In fact, I would venture to guess you at least have one, if not two. And so all of our supplements are free of gluten. You never have to worry about that with us. We only have one supplement, which is an enzyme that has a derivative of egg. Otherwise, all of our supplements are egg free. So, you know, I can't speak to you personally and your health condition, but I use this widely with people with autoimmunity. In fact, people with autoimmunity typically have one, if not two mutations, and our supplements are free of dairy, egg, and soy and gluten. So again, back to this, I recommend taking B12 or the B vitamins with food because they can cause nausea in some people. You can try it without, but I do recommend taking that with food. So I typically take that with my breakfast. I will take coconut charcoal and a glutathione. I take that on an empty stomach. I typically will do the glutathione first thing in the morning. I don't do the charcoal first thing in the morning because I'm balancing my thyroid hormone as well. And then I'll do the glutathione and charcoal at night after I get out of my infrared sauna, or sometimes before. I'll take it before I get in the infrared sauna. So I do that at night on an empty stomach. And I typically will take my methylation support with breakfast, lunch, kind of whenever I remember it, depending on how hectic the day has been. if you have any autoimmune condition, and this is, you know, after my seeing many people, thousands of people with autoimmune conditions, I have seen 10 people out of literally thousands in my clinic that have no mutations at MTHFR. So 50% of the population has at least one, and 25% of the population has two. And of the people, again, this is anecdotal in my clinic, who have autoimmunity and other chronic health conditions, virtually everybody had at least one, and many people had two. So if it's made, you know, with stevia or something like that, you know, are welcome to add that into your diet. You can. So you just would want to make sure that you're taking the charcoal away from a multivitamin, anything that has a mineral in it, because it could bind the mineral. It has a large surface area, and of course away from any medications that you're taking. I use sunlight in sauna. I'm standing in the kitchen, but typically I'm in my office, and I am right by my sauna in the background. So when I got kind of my daily schedule to just kind of keep up with things, of course, now being a mom and running a business and building a house in Santa Fe, time is of the essence. But my typical thing is to get in the sauna every day. I will be honest, I've laxed a little bit, but when I got sick or got exposed again to mold most recently on our beach trip, I, of course, while I was there, was taking a lot of glutathione, methylation support, charcoal. It was our family vacation. I didn't want to leave. My family was more important. I thought I was surviving pretty well, but I started with this really red rash that I got when I got really sick with mold back in 2016. So that got me very concerned. I had some travel that was planned right when we got back, and I had to cancel that. And so I was in the sauna every day. I was upping my glutathione, taking my charcoal, of course, methylation support, and you know, all the other things that I take. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, is there anything, you know, major amongst the many other things that I always take, like a probiotic, my fish oils, multivitamin. If there was anything else, you know, in particular, I was doing a lot of things for histamine intolerance, because it was kind of a histamine rash. So we have our Histidal that I was taking. Yeah.